Hello students, today we'll learn about decimals. Okay, a new topic, decimal, for class 4 students. So here let me give you the introduction of decimals. What are decimals? So the word decimals comes from the Latin word decimus. Okay, every word originates from a old language word. All right, so here it is originated from the word decimus. Maths is not only about numbers only dealing with, you should know the basics of every concept. Okay, all right, so here word decimal comes from the word decimus, and that means tenths. And how it means tenth, why it means tenth, that we will discuss in a coming up video. Right, now it is used to represent a number smaller than 1, just like fractions. As fractions we are using for representing numbers smaller than 1, here we can use decimals also. Now these numbers which are less than 1 are written using a decimal point. Okay, we are writing a whole number and the last place value will begin always with the place value of ones. Alright, now if I want to write beyond this, I want to write a number less than the whole number, then I will use a decimal point. And such numbers having decimal point in them are called decimals or decimal numbers. A decimal number consists of two parts, a whole number part and a decimal number part. And a decimal point separates them. Alright, so here is an example in front of you, 24.78. Okay, so 24 is the whole number part and 78 is the decimal number part. And both are separated by this dot, which is also called point, we can say, or decimal point. Alright students, so this was just the introduction of decimals. Alright, now we'll study in detail what is a decimal, how it is written, what is its place value. Let's study. Alright, now here we will learn this with the help of a place value chart. Now just see, this is the place value chart from ones, tens, hundreds, thousand, and so on. We are going ahead. We have learned till crores in this class. All right, so when we are moving in a place value chart from right to left, when we are moving from right to left, as you can see, take this example, just focus on 4, the place value of 4. Here the place value of 4 is ones, here tens, here hundreds, and here thousands. All right, so here the place value of 4 in the first number is 4, second number is 40, third number is 400, and fourth number is 4000. So what we observed here, as we are moving in a place value chart from right to left, that means the place value is increasing. And by how many times it is increasing? By 10 times. Here it is 4, and 4 to 40 is multiplied by 10, 40. 40 to 400 is multiplied by 10, 400, and 400 to 4000 multiplied by 10, 4000. So here the value is increasing by 10 times. Alright students, now I'll show you the next table. Now what happens when we move from left to right in a place value chart? So here again one example is there in front of you. Now focus on the place value of 4 again. Here in the first case the place value of 4 is thousands. In the second case the place value of 4 is 100. In the third case tens, and in the fourth case ones. So when we are moving from left to right, when the number is shifting from left to right, the place value is what? It's decreasing. You can just see. In the first case the place value was 4000, then 400, then 40, then 4. So what is that? From left to right, when we are moving from a bigger place value to a smaller place value, then what happens? The place value is decreasing. Decreasing by how many times? By 10 times again. So when we are reducing it now, we always divide by 10. Like here, 4000 divided by 10. So we can cancel 110, so it will be 400. So always when a number is decreasing here by 10, that means we are dividing it by 10. Alright, so we observe two things here. When we moved from here right to left, the value increased, place value increased. Okay, and when we move from left to right, the place value decreased. Okay, from right we are moving right. So here I will show you how to put a decimal number now. Now what happens if I further extend this table? Okay, we have learnt here till once here. We are moving from left to right till once here. Alright, and we observe that the value is decreasing from 100 to 10, 10 to 1. Now what if I want a number less than the whole number? I want to put a fraction in this. Then I can do it by putting a decimal point, here. Alright, and after decimal point, then we'll continue with the same fundamental which we have learned, that as we are moving from left to right, the value is decreasing by 10 times. That is, we are dividing by 10. Okay, so here 1 is again divided by 10. So the value of the first number after decimal point, the value of the first number after decimal point is 1 upon 10th. Okay, as we are dividing, no, here we have divided what? 100 upon 10. So we got here 10. Then we have divided 10 upon 10. So we got here 1. Okay, now we are dividing again this by 10. So we got here the place value of the first number of first digit after decimal point. Then again, if I want the next place value, then I have to divide it again by 10. So when I will divide it again by 10, I will get here 1 upon 100. Then again I will divide by 10. That means I will get once again I will get here one more place value, 1 upon 1000th. Alright students, so this way the value will keep on decreasing. 1 upon 10th is bigger than 1 upon 100. 1 upon 100 is bigger than 1 upon 1000. As we have learned in comparison of the fraction, no, what we observed, when the numerators are the same, then in the denominator, whichever is a smaller number will be bigger. So this, okay, smaller number will be bigger, right? Okay. So here I am writing 100. Now this will be bigger than 1 upon 1000. So have you observed that when the place value is moving from left to right, the value is decreasing. So here also, when we are moving in the decimal part also, the value is decreasing. The first number will be of more value. The place value is 1 upon 10th, then 1 upon 100th, then 1 upon 1000th. In this case, I am not saying 1 upon 10, I am saying 1 upon 10th. Because of fraction, when we say no, then the denominator always ends up with this 3 letters T, H and S. We write that. This will be 100th, HUNDRED, and then THS. And this place value will be 1000th. You write the spelling of 1000 and then you have to add what? THS. Alright, so this place values are written like that. And here what we are writing? Ones, tens, hundreds. But after this decimal point, what we are writing? Tenths, hundreds and thousands. Alright, okay. So now let's move on. And such numbers including the decimal point are called decimal numbers. Alright, so here I have given you an example, making it again very clear to you. So I hope after that explanation it's clear to you what is a decimal number and which place it's getting in the number, what is the place value. Alright, so this is the definition here. Decimal number consists of two parts, that is whole number and decimal number part. Whole number will be before the decimal point, and decimal number part will be after the decimal point. All right, students. Okay. Now, so the place value, how to write the place value? So for the whole number, you're writing the place value 24. How do you write? 20 plus 4. But for this decimals, decimal number after decimal point, we write the place value 7/10. Okay, so what is the place value of 7? It is a 10th place, so we write as 7/10. How to write 7/10? 7 will be the numerator and 10th means that will be the denominator, always represented by ths, tenths. Now what is the place value of 8? It is at 100th place. So I will write here 800th. Whichever the number we are finding the place value, we have to mention that number and then we have to write the place value. So when the place value is 10th and 100th, that means 10 and 100 will come in the denominator place. Don't forget that. Okay, now this place values can also be written like this: 20 plus 4. And since 7/10th position is near to the decimal, so the number we will write 0.7. And 8th is in the 100th place, that means one place away from second place it is at. So I will fill that with 0. So the place value is 0.08. Alright, then moving ahead with the exercises now. Writing a fraction as decimals. Now how to write a fraction as a decimal? This example is in front of you. I have just taken one and I have compared it. 7/10, 7/100 and 7/1000. How to write it as decimal? Now observe the answer and then we will formulate a rule here. 7/10. Since it is at 10th place, it is closer to the decimal place. So we will write 0.7. Since it is at 100th place, that means it is from decimal point, it is 2 place away. It is at the second place. So I will write 0.07. Now 1000th place. Since from the decimal, the 1000th place is at the third place. So I will put 2 zeros here. So what have you observed here? If in the denominator you have 1 0, then the decimal point will come before one digit here. If in denominator there are 2 zeros, then decimal point will come before 2 digits. If in denominator there are 3 zeros, then the decimal point will come before 3 digits. And if these digits are not 3, then we have to make it 3 by putting zeros in front. Because 007 and 7 are equal. 07 and 7 are equal. So we will make it 2 digit by putting a 0 over here. We will make it 3 digit by putting 2 zeros over here. Alright, so this was the observation which I have told you. Alright, now keeping this in mind, let's do the exercise here. So I'll just pick up few difficult ones for you and then you can do the remaining yourself. First is 3/10. Okay, first I will just put the number of this which I'm doing. Alright, okay. My page is shifted. I'll just get back to my page here. Right, now first one. Okay, first one, 3/10. So here 1 0, that means the decimal will come before 1 digits. So either I can write 0.3, and now here you can see this is only a fraction part. There is no whole number. So you can write it like this also, because you know this is decimal 3 and you know that before decimal we write the whole number, but here no whole number is mentioned here. This is just a fraction, so I can put for whole number as 0 also. Alright students, now number 2 I will show you. Yes, number 2. Now here 2 7/100, that means a whole number is given. This is a mixed fraction and 7/100 is a fraction here. Alright students, so here, so whole number, where do we write the whole number? First put the decimal point. Now where do we write the whole number? Before the decimal point. So I'm writing it here. And after the decimal point, what will come? Fraction. Now this is 7/100. In the denominator there are 2 zeros. So decimal point will come before 2 digits. That means I have to write here 2 digits. So 7 is already there. I have to make it 2 by putting a 0 over here. Okay, let's do this third one. 88/100. Okay, now 2 zeros, that means decimal point will come before two digits, and there is no whole number, so I can put a 0 over here. Okay, you can do fourth one also like that, and fifth one I will show you now. Fifth one here, 3 is a whole number, so it will come before the decimal point. Okay, all right. And then what is the fraction here? 11 upon 100. So decimal will come before two digits. So I will, already two digits are there, so I will write 3.11. So this way you have to do this activity, okay, this exercise. All right, students. Okay, now moving on to the next question here. Number pattern. Number pattern is the way in which the numbers are written one after the other. You have to observe the pattern, whether the numbers are increasing, or numbers may be increasing or decreasing. So here I have done two for you, 1.02, 1.03, 1.04. That means the number are increasing by 1, but this is not the simple one. Which number is increasing? The number at 100th place is increasing. Look at this. Number at 100th place is increasing. That means if I will have to add 1, I will add like this. If I want to get the first answer, what I'll do? 1.04, and here I have to add 1, then what I'll do? I'll not simply add 1, I will write 1 here, 0.0. So this will be the number I will be adding, not simply 1, 0.01. So here what will be the answer? 1.05. That is the next number. So this way you have to keep on adding and writing the answer. Alright, just see which number, which place number is increasing, and that you have to add. Now the fourth one also I have done for you. That second, third and fifth are the same as one. Question number 1. Now the fourth one. Here 1.790 I am writing this. So as you can see, this number is increasing 82, then 86, then 90, increasing by jumps of 4. And the number is changing where? At the hundreds place, thousands place, sorry. Okay, so I will add here what? 4, because they are jumping by 4 at thousands place. So I will add here 4, and remaining I will put as 0, 0. So that will be the number I'll be adding for getting the next now 4 answers here. 0.004, because thousandth place is increasing by 4. Okay, so then I will add here and I will get the answer which I have written there, 1.794, like this. And you can keep on adding this number and getting the next answers. Alright students, so this was also one type of question which is asked. Now moving ahead, writing as fractions and then decimals. Just now we have written fractions into decimals we have written. Now what if we are getting a number name like this, 4/10? So this is a way of writing fraction in words, 4/10. That means the numerator will be same as we are reading any number, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Same. But the denominator will have T, H, S, H and S in that. That is the extension it is getting. In 10 we are writing, we are not reading it as 10, because in denominator area, whichever number is there, we will be adding to it THS. Alright, so we will be reading it as 4/10, 6/10. Is it clear? And what if it was 100 then? 6 upon 100 then? How do you read that? 6/100. What if a number is like this, 77 upon 1000? So you will read that 77 thousandths. THS will be added to this denominator. Alright, so this is the way of reading a fraction, especially a decimal fraction having 10, 100 and 1000 as denominators. Now in the third case, you can see 1 and 9/10. What is the meaning of this and in between? This and is separating the whole number and the fraction. 9/10 is the fraction and 1 is the whole number. And you can very well identify this by the word and here. So it's a mixed fraction. So how do you write a mixed fraction? 1 will be the, I'll just write it here for you. Okay, 1 will be the whole number and 9/10, that means that is a fraction. So 9 will come in the numerator and 10th, as the word only says, this is a denominator written with THS. So here it will come 10 like this. Now if I want to convert this into a decimal, then what I'll do? Decimal I will write, and before decimal what do we write? Whole number. So here the whole number is 1, so I will write here 1. And here 1 0, that means decimal will come before one digit, so I will just write here 1.9 is the answer. Okay, now here only fractions are given, no whole number is given. So you can write 0.4 also, but it's good to mention here 0.4, 0.6, and here since we have a whole number here, so we have written 1.9. Okay, so I hope it's clear to you. Now here some problems are there for you to solve. 6/10, that means 6 will be the numerator and 10th will be the denominator. And how to put it up in the decimal form? 0.6. Now 22/100th, 22 and 100th will be written like this, and then 0, no whole number, so I will put up here 0, and then 22, 2 zeros, so decimal will come before 2 digits here. Already 2 digits are here, we don't need to add here 0 here. Okay, now next is 2 5/10, that and is showing that it's a mixed fraction. So 2 is a whole number and 5/10, so how to write 5/10? Okay, and how to write this in the decimal form? 2 will come before the decimal because this is a whole number, and after 1 0, so decimal will come before one digit like this. Is it clear, students? So this way you have to do this exercise. Right, now finding the place value of the decimal number. How to find the place value of a decimal number? We have already discussed what is the place value of the first decimal number, that is 10th, second is 100th, then 1000, and then keeps on going like that. So here if we have to write in a decimal number, so decimal number has both whole number as well as decimal number. So for the whole number we will follow this chart, that is ones, tens, 100, 1000, like this we have to write. With the help of this we have to write the place value. And for the decimal fraction we will go beyond this ones place and we will write it as tens, hundreds and thousands. Okay, for example I am asking for 2, so I have to write 2 tenths. Okay, if the number is 2, the place value of 2.2 I have to give, so I will write 2 tenth. Alright students, so this way we can write the place values. So here the question is, write the place value of 7 in each case. So first of all you have to underline here 7, 7, 7, 7, 7 and 7 here. So for the first, it is lying at which place? Just see, 46.278, decimal is here. Okay, now 7 is lying at, this is the first place is 10th, second place is 100th, hundredths. Okay, wait a little, yes, hundreds. How do you write hundreds? HUNDREDTH, hundreds. Now so how do you write the answer here? 7, either we will write 7 hundredths the answer, or you can also write in the form of numbers also, 7 hundredths. How to write? Hundredth will be in the denominator, so I can write it like this, 700th. Okay, here I can write for the second, what is the place value here? 710. Now here in the third case, it is in the whole number part. So simply the answer will be, what will be the answer here? Simply the answer will be, for third case, the answer will be 7. That is 7 ones, or 7 you can write. Here in this case also, the 7 is in whole number part. So this is ones and tens place. So you can write 7 tens, or you can write 70. Okay, now here fifth case, it is in thousandth place. So you can write 7 upon thousandth like this, or you can write it as here 7,000th in words also you can write. Is it clear, all of you? Okay, or you can give in the form of decimals also the place value, 0.007. Is it clear? This also you can give in decimal form, 0.7, the place value of number 2 answer. Okay, like this you can write the answer. And for the first one also, it is 700th, no? So it can be written as 0.07. 2 zeros, so decimal will come before 2 digits like this. Alright, so moving ahead with the next, expanded form of decimals. Now you know how to write an expanded form. Expanded form means in a number each digit is written with its place value. For example, we were doing it with the whole numbers before. In the first chapter we have done. That is 3257. So this is 3000 plus 200 plus 50 plus 7. But how to write for the decimals now? Decimals, you can simply put up the expanded form in decimals, or you can write that in fractions also. Two ways of writing. So here what you can write, first is 0.2. Second is, what is the place value of 5? That is 100th. That means it is at the second place from this. It is at the second place from this decimal point. So I have to fill the place in between with 0 here. So this is the place value of this 0.25. Okay, I can write also for 0.25 the place value. I can also write it like this: 2 upon 10 plus 5 upon 100th. In the form of fraction also I can write. Okay students, alright. Now I'll just explain you the first one here. How to write this first one. 11.163. How to write the place value. So for the whole number it's the same. 11 is what? 1 is at 10's place, and this one is at 1's place. So I can write here 10 plus 1 plus, now for the decimal I can write it as, simply I can write it as 0. Now there is no whole number here. When we are writing for any number the place value, we put other numbers as 0. So I will put for whole number also 0, then I will write 1 over here. Then 0.06 for the 6, then 0.003 for this 1000th place like this. I can also put it up in the form of a fraction also, plus 1 is at 10th place, so I can write 1 upon 10th like this, 6 upon 100th like this, and 3 upon 1000th like this. You can follow any way, both are correct. Okay. Now writing decimals in figure. That means this is written, this is the, what is that? This is the number written in, decimal number written in words. You have to write in figures. How to write in figures? First, what is written? 8 decimal. That means 8 is before decimal. That means 8 is a whole number. So I will write here 8. Then I will put a decimal point. Now what is written? 462. So I will write it as 4, 6 and 2. Simply. Now what is that? 22. Before decimal what number is there? 22. So I will write here 22. Then I will put a decimal point, and then what is written here? 327 like this. Simple. 132 before decimal. So I will write this 132 decimal 7, 8 and 9. Okay, this is 7.8099. Whatever is written here, you have to write all these numbers like this. Okay, 2.36. Okay, so this way you have to write in figures, in numbers. Now moving ahead with the last topic here, writing in words. That means a number will be given here and you have to write it in words with the spelling. So there are some rules to follow. Numbers after decimal point is read as well as written one by one with commas. Means whatever is the number after the decimal point. In case of 11.23, the number after the decimal point, we don't say 23. We say what? 2, 3. This way we write. We never speak the number together after the decimal point. We read it separate. 2, 3. But the number before the decimal point, okay, the number before the decimal point will be read together. That is, we will not write 1, 1. We will write 11. 1, 1 is what? 11. And here, decimal, you can write decimal as dot separating the, here, this is wrong. Dot separating the number, whole number. Okay, dot separating the whole number and a decimal number can be read or as well as written as point or decimal. You can write here decimal, or you can write here point also. Instead of decimal, you can write 11.23 or 11.23. Both are correct. Now let's write this. So here, number before the decimal, I'll write 1, and for decimal I can use this dot, I can use the word decimal, or you can write point also. And then after the decimal, how do you write? All separate 2 comma 3 comma 4. Is it clear? So follow these rules and write the numbers in words. Alright students, then after this I have given you the answer key of all the questions which I have asked for in the practice work. Okay, you can just go through this answer key, and then if all the answers are correct, then from my side, very well done. And if any answer is wrong, then please do the correction. So keep practicing. I hope you have understood this part of the decimals. Thank you.